Hi everyone. Um, Good afternoon. It's afternoon my time, and I'm happy I finally get to record this video. Now, on the norms, I wanted everything to be perfect, me baited with my makeup and earrings and all of that. But no, I think the more I wait for that, the more I delay in giving you this video because on a normal, I'm usually very casual. It's not like I do makeup every day. I do not. So let me just give it to you. So in this part one video, I'm going to be taking you through 10 things I learned before I was 30. 10 significant things. Then we'll have part two, the next 10, and then part three, the next 10. But I want to do this first 10 first. And if you find value or you think it's good, then let me show my mic is recording. Then we can get to continue the rest. Okay. So the first thing I learned is the importance of having a vision for my life. And that was when I was 13. I was in just three, and we got to hear that we had a new principal at that time, so Claire. And in on the assembly, she began to talk about something called vision, mission, and goals. I'm like, what is that? So she talked to us about why it's important to have a vision and mission and goal, not just for your life, but for whatever it is you're doing. Your vision, literally, it's more like seeing the end from the beginning, what you want to see, and then you now begin to work towards it. So I feel it's very important that you have a vision for your life. Now, I also have learned that vision can transcend. So right now, my vision might be to have a son, and tomorrow my vision might be to be the next minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So it could be anything. But it's important to have a vision, because your vision kind of guides you and align you. Some people might say you might have one vision all through your life. I don't have not had that, because as I've grown and I've discovered parts of me that I didn't know, and the woman I'm becoming, there are many parts that I've changed. There are visions that I had when I was 13, 14, 15, 16 that I don't have anymore today. There are some I had when I was 18, 19 that they are no longer what I'm working on today. So it's very important to have a vision. It helps you live a more intentional life. And then when you hit something, you know you've hit it, right? I also will quickly share this. So I had a vision for what I wanted at a particular point in time. And I had so many desires, and this is what I want, and this is what I wanted at this time. And I got to a point where it seems that I achieved everything I wrote on my vision board. Everything was hit. Either it was or it was better. And I realized that I had plateaued. I didn't know how to move on from there. How do you get here? I was worried. In fact, it got me sick because I didn't have a reason to wake up anymore. And then with time, I was able to create another vision board and have a new outlook to life. The second thing I think is important that I've learned is the importance of having core values. Core values is very important, and I do not take it lightly. This would have been my number one, but hey, it's number two because my core values somehow stem up from my vision. My core values, it's more like my standards of integrity. They are the reasons why I do what I do and why I say no to things. My core values will let me know the areas to say no to, or what to bend to, or what not to bend to. My core values helps me distinguish between good and good. So some things might be good, but they might not be good for me. What are the core values for your life? What are your standards of integrity? What guides how you live? What is driving how you live? And sorry, they've taken power, and I'm going to continue. What drives how you live and why you live and what you do? That's your core value. So, I had core values, and my core values determines the kind of friends I keep, the kind of conversations I have, what I do, where you can never find me. It's my core values. Number three thing I learned is never to give up. An African man will say, "Now who give up, now you lose," or a Nigerian man, "Now you give up, now you lose." Don't give up. Keep trying. It might not make sense. It might be hard, but don't give up. Number four, I learned to be content with every season. I've learned that life is in seasons. And this was a very big lesson to me, or for me, because when I was growing up, I tend to have many friends that were older than I was. Yeah, I had many friends that were older than I was. And so if one is not careful, it's easy to begin to measure or compare yourself with them. Hey, Auntie Charity has this, I've not had this. Auntie Charity is doing this, I've not had this. Sister, this is doing this. Like, I didn't really have many friends my age mate. And so it was easy to, if you're not careful, to see those things. My mom had already taught us, she would say it in Igbo, "Ihoma na agwa, that's good things then to finish." So she had taught us that we should be content in every season, that what might be in vogue now might not be in vogue later. And you should enjoy where you are and be happy. Tomorrow you can have that thing you want or even more. And so it really helped me to be content when things didn't make sense, when I was in school, when I didn't have money, when I had money, when I had my son. I won't lie to you, it took me a while to even balance in the whole parenting thing because I was doing the most part alone, so it was hard and I didn't prepare for it. But now my son is grown, more grown, and sometimes I wish, oh, thank God we had the time we had. So I learned to understand each season, and one thing I always want to tell people is that no season lasts forever. But it's easy for seasons to last forever if you just allow the season pass. I think it's important to take lessons from the season that you're in, and then from there you can now know what it is to pick before you move to the next season. Because I've always learned that the lessons from the past season of my life eventually are relevant to other seasons in my life. So, for example, something I learned 5 years ago, I will now encounter something that because of that thing I went through, I'm more qualified to assess that thing today. Don't know if you get. So, be content with every season and make sure you pick the lessons. Number five, I've also learned to learn from others. I understand the idea of making mistakes by yourself and learning it, but I've also learned that learning from other people's experience is very good. So I read a lot. I read a lot. I love studying people's stories, how they did it, what they did. It's easy to hear people what they did. Oh, this person was a success, but I want to ask how. How did you do it? How many no's did you get? How many times did you try? They kind of helped me, and they've helped me because there are many times when I've experienced some kind of failures that I absolutely wanted to give up. But somehow, God will bring somebody that, as well as this, I might have been speaking to the person every day, and I didn't know the person experienced that. They'll just share one story with me, and it will just hijack my face like this, like jack it up, boom, and I feel a lot better. So I tend to learn from others, and when I learn from others, I realize, oh, this person, if she had done this, she would have gotten this. If she had done this, so what do I do different now that will make me have a different experience or a better experience? So I've learned that it's important to. When I'm learning from others, I've also learned that nobody's insignificant. Some people will say, this person is so small. What can I learn from her? This person doesn't have what I have. No, even from anybody, even from I learned from my son, right? When I was writing my book, and we had different covers, three different covers with different of my pictures, but kind of similar, but different of my pictures and different outlook. And we're a bit, which one do we use? Which one do we use? And I remember that night, I just asked my son, I'm like, now what do you think? Which one do you like? He said, I like this. It's very beautiful. And I love your picture in that. However, I will go for this other one because I feel it shows that you're teaching, it depicts what the topic is talking about more, it's more relatable, and it's not too noisy. This is my 6-year-old son. I was shocked. I was just looking at him. And he said, yes, I really love this other one. It's fine. Your picture is catchy and all. But I don't want people to be distracted by your picture and lose the idea of what it's about. So I think we should go for this other one. And that's how I settled for the cover of the book that you now see. Do you see that? My son, 6 year old son, he was the one that made me decide. So you can learn from everybody. And when he said it, it made sense to me. So you can learn from anybody, no matter how old the person is or how young the person is. Number six, I've also learned never to stop learning. So yes, can learn from anybody, but it's important to constantly learn. I'm constantly reading. I have a book for a month, and before I used to be very fast in reading. I'll just want to read it and be done. But now I'm no longer that fast. I don't mind holding one book for 3 months. And I'm now more intentional about how I read, such that I want to get feedback. I want to apply. So for example, I'm reading a book. The book has like 8 chapters. I've read the introduction twice. I've read the chapter one twice. Now I'm going back again to read it, not just to read now, but to begin to apply it. There are different expressions of me. There's me as a personal brand. There is my foundation. There's my business. There's there are different aspects of me. There's where I sit in boards and consult. So I began to now apply what I was learning in each section of me, developing core focus, values, vision, people, structure and all of that using that material. So I'm not in a hurry to say at the end of March, I'm done reading this book, I'm going to April. No. If the end of March, the only thing I've been able to extract is for the foundation, I'll read it again in April and do for the business and for myself like that. So don't stop learning and be open to unlearn what you've learned. So what you know today that might be relevant might not be tomorrow. So be open to say, okay, I have to change my ideology. This is no longer relevant, or this will not serve me anymore. Number seven, be careful of expectations. I don't like people that have unnecessary expectations of people and an entitlement mentality. I think being careful of expectations has really helped me. In being careful of expectations, I've taken people to be human beings. And sometimes I wouldn't say if they knew better, they would do better, or if they had the capacity, or maybe that's just the bandwidth they had. So I just give people excuses for maybe not performing or not doing as I expected. Or I would say this person is a good person, but it's not for me. So I'm always careful. I don't have unnecessary expectations, because unnecessary expectations that are not met can make you bitter, resentful. And when there's no joy in your life, there are a lot of things you cannot attract or command. So I'm careful of expectations, even from my own son, even from my parents and my siblings. Nobody is Jesus to me. Nobody is Jehovah Jireh, Jehovah Shammah, or whatever it is to me. No, I have God and He's enough. Every other person is a channel, and there's only how far they can go. They are all human beings. People have life going on. So please, let's give grace to others. If you have unnecessary expectations, it can keep you stuck, because when you are not met, you'll be so sad. For me, one of the places I've had expectations that really affected me is with relationships. You have a relationship and you expect the person to do this to that person is not doing it. Oh my God, I'll be so bitter, I'll be so angry, this person is making me is stressing me out. There's somebody I always say, you just make me worry too much, and I don't like it. And that's why I cannot be with you. Like, I literally called off the relationship because I believed, or I saw that I didn't know how to handle it. I was having unreasonable expectations that he kept failing over and over again. That was hurting me, and it was affecting every aspect of me. So I'm like, you're a good person, but for now I can't deal with it. So please, let's just be friends. Okay, so I don't have expectations. Number eight, you need to remember that you're dispensable. So when I was really in that phase, thank God for delivering me from the hustling spirit. I was always hustling. I was always working morning to night. Sometimes, before I deliver a job, I might have spent sleepless nights and done stuff. The client does not know I did that, or my boss doesn't know. And so most times they don't appreciate they don't know what I've done. So they just take it casually, or they might not even use it immediately. And I'm like, I spent the whole night doing it. So I'll work. And because I was trying to be valuable and to contribute, I thought that was it. But I have learned that I am dispensable. In as much as I go with the mantra that I need to be too valuable to be ignored. I'm valuable, but how valuable I am is only when I'm present. God forbid, if I'm no more tomorrow, somebody else will do it. That thing that I thought is only me that can do, say lie. Somebody else will do it, and it's possible they will even do it better. They will find somebody else. I work with one organization, and one day they just reached out to me that I should remove so and so person from the website. And I was like, what happened? They said the person is dead. I said, when? They said earlier today. This is like maybe 3 p.m. They said the person died like 10 a.m. Person not a Muslim. Oh. They said they should remove the person. I was like, but the person just died now. Is it how fast people just move on? They couldn't even leave the person for a bit. Like, they just quickly remove the person. Life is not like that too. But it made me realize that you are indispensable, and they said so many good things about this person, but they said I should remove the person. So you're dispensable. Don't think you're indispensable, even to your son, to your husband, to your spouse. And that is why I've learned to put myself first. Sometimes when I want to rest, I lock my door and I sleep. My son sometimes will hit it, mommy, because my son can be so gummy. I will not even answer. If you like, you should be hungry. If you like, you should not eat. Anything they cannot sort out there, nobody should call me until I've slept very well. And when I wake up, I will now open my door. That's what I've started doing. I cannot come and kill myself. I have to rest. There are also some things that I'll promise people, but when I realize I can't meet up, maybe my body, I will tell you, I'm sorry, I'm unpromising the promise. I cannot do it. I don't have the bandwidth. I'm tired. I want to rest. I'm sorry, forgive me, but I have to unpromise the promise. I can't make it. It's not hard again, no. Before, when I was a lot younger, or a few years back, even if my leg is paining me, I'll be limping, I'll be holding the pain in my heart, and I'll just be managing, trying to please the other person, trying to make sure I fulfill the promise and do all that. I don't do it again. I don't do it again. No. I'm gonna rest. I'm gonna rest. And I'll tell you straight up. I'm not um Jesus, that his word never falls to the ground. I can't promise, I won't promise. I apologize, I'll do it again. I'll do it later. I'm a human being. I'm not dispensable. I have to choose myself first. I have to rest. Number 9, rest. Rest. I've learned it early. I began to interact with older people and I saw them struggling with diseases and ailments that it was at that point they were living good lives, they were eating the right foods, they were doing the right things. So what happened? And I realized that they were suffering from consequences of what they did when they were younger. How they didn't take care of themselves and all of that. And I realized that at this stage of my life, it's important to take care of myself, and I'm beginning to have a closing time, because when you work for yourself, most times if you're not careful, you won't have a closing time. Anytime, especially when you're pursuing money, anytime they bring job, you just I can do it. If I cannot make it, I'll apologize to you, and I try to also manage whatever I have so that I'm not in a stranded position. Rest, exercise, eat right. I'll be so busy that sometimes it's only cook and bread I'll eat the whole day because I don't have the time to cook and I am so tired. That was a terrible lifestyle. Right now, I would have gone with it, but in the next 10 years, I will see the way. I will sit down morning till night. My back will ache. The chair I was sitting was not even making sense. The table was not even well positioned. Hey, God. I realized that, see, this I can't do this anymore. It's not now. It's about later. I'm not just building for the future. I need to be built for the future. And then number 10, be careful of your friends or the people you relate with. I don't believe people are bad per se. I believe that there are people that are for you and they might not be for you. So one thing that have helped me is realizing that my fight is different. And so I'm very careful of people I spend my days with or my times with or listen to. I used to have some friends that have better advantages than I do. And so I don't spend my time with them. So you can't have graduated with a 2-2, you studied a 2-1, sorry, I graduated with 2-2. Graduated with 2-1, you studied a good course. You have a husband that is taking care of you, that's taking care of house chores. So even when you support, it's just because you want to support. But even if you don't have, he can pay the children's school fees, their bills, he can pay the house rent, he can sort out stuff. Then me, I will now sit down with you, and when you're saying, I'm tired, I don't feel like going today, me too, I'll be saying I don't feel like going today. Am I okay? Hey, my heart sense by force. My fight is different. If I don't take care of my son, no one will. If I don't pay his school fees, no one is going to pay for me. If he's hungry, it is me. If he wants anything, it is me. So I have to have sense. And if they are taking their break, if they don't post every day because visibility is not a priority to them, I cannot not post every day because visibility is important to me because I have to make sales. Do you understand? It doesn't make them bad. They just have more privileges than I have. So I have to work twice as hard. And if I have to work twice as hard, I don't have time to be gallivanting different places with them. If they like, they should judge me and say I'm not being fair. Hey, please, when I finish, sorry, I don't have the kind of time that you have. I don't have what you have. I don't have the kind of backup that you have. And so it taught me to have sense and to be more intentional the way I relate to people and to remember where I'm coming from and where I'm going. Always to remember that my fight is different. So this is 1 to 10. I'm sure you really love 11 to 20. If you really love this, tell me in the comment section. What do you think? Was it really nice? Did you gain something? I didn't want this video to be more than 20 minutes, so I had to cut a lot of things, and I didn't want to mention names and share stories. But maybe if you want them, I'll just add them in 11 to 20. So thank you for watching, and I hope you like me being natural the way I am to do this video. Thank you guys and have an amazing day. Bye bye.